it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to go ahead and call to order this regular city council meeting agenda for Monday, June 9th, 2025, 6 p.m. All stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Ludwig.
Here.
Haynes. Jenkins. Van Allsburg.
Here.
Rhines.
Here.
Gilroy.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
I would entertain a motion to excuse Councilman Jenkins and Councilman Haynes from this evening's meeting.
So moved.
Thank you both. Thank you for the support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm looking for approval of this evening's agenda unless there are any changes that need to be noted.
Move to approve.
Thank you so much. Do I have support?
Second.
Thank you both. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have an opportunity for audience participation with a maximum of 5 minutes per presentation. If there's anyone out there that would like to come forward and speak, Earl Wolf, come right up.
Hi, just want to get on the council record, representing the Williamston Area Beautification Fund, that the concert season starts this week. You look at that sheet right there, you're looking at $12,000 worth of entertainment.
That's great.
And a lot of them have come about because we've got some great new patrons here. Xfinity, Comcast, Custom Built Design Remodeling, Granger, Rotary, and so on. So we're going all out to get people downtown. And we've been pumping social media ads with all the 4 restaurants almost every other daily, starting the last couple of days. And we're really pumping to get people to Williamston and downtown. I'm really proud of this lineup. We had a great board with a lot of area people involved that you know to make this all happen. And nearly, probably 2/3 that you see on that list have some Williamston connection. Either a couple band members live here or and so on. For instance, Black Barn Band, which has been here before, lead singer Peter Clay, the voice of MSU football hockey, Chad Muncie, who lives here, and so on. So they all have a Williamston connection and will bring all their fans with them. There's some brand new groups that have never been in mid-Michigan ever, and I'd like to really shout out the Jubilee Night, Itchycoo Park. That's a $2,500 tribute band act featuring the classic rocks of all time, you know, The Who, Jefferson Airplane. It's going to be spectacular. So we're really pumping that and getting the area restaurants involved. That one has the Tavern 109. I'm talking to Bonnie. We're going to really get that going to get people to stay here, go to the show, then go back to the Jubilee beverage stand, or whatever it takes to get people downtown. So we're really proud of this lineup. You know, oxymorons. The drummer is Keith Nelson, my doctor down here at the Sparrow.
That's great.
I don't want to tell you about his stories, but anyway, so everything's got a great background. And probably the icing on the cake is the last one. That's a full 12-piece jazz ensemble from St. Louis of the United States Air Force. That's a pro act. And somehow they got Williamston on their radar when they're doing their Midwest tour. And there's no cost, but we have to feed them. So we got a generous veteran to line up a whole ensemble for them at Zinda's before the show. So that's really special, working with Miss Kelsey at the high school to get all the jazz band kids down here and see a professional jazz performance. So we're really proud of this lineup. We hope everybody passes the word. Come on down. So if you don't, I don't know what the heck you're doing on Thursday night. So anyway, thank you.
Earl, thank you so much.
I have to ask, where in the world is Itchycoo Park?
Itchycoo Park is an old song by Billy Joe Royal. And anyway, and they just adopted that as their name.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's really a place or not. Anybody know?
I don't know.
I think
Google.
I know.
Yeah,
but
Google
I'm
it.
not
You're
saying.
right. That's,
But anyway,
Google
they're
answers everything, man.
we're really excited about that. So anyway,
Earl, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of time and effort that's put into this. It's not something that you just started a couple weeks ago. You guys have probably been working on this, you know, for months. So I appreciate this, and shout out to all of our local vendors and sponsors that are helping support this. You know, just reading through here, there's at least 2 or 3, you know, local businesses sponsoring, most of these. Some of them were sponsored by, single individuals or single businesses, so thank you so much.
Yeah, some of the businesses never sponsored anything ever, like Alberto.
Yeah,
And River's Edge,
Yeah.
they just called and said,
it's
how
because of you,
sponsored.
it's because of you and your hard work and the board, and so again, thank you so much, and, I think you're right, Earl, if you don't get out and experience Man Shout in Williamston on a Thursday evening in the summer, you're missing it out. We've got a wonderful, social district now downtown with 4 participating restaurants where you can grab a cocktail, go over, sit and listen to some music, so looking forward to it, Earl, thank
And
you
there'll
so
be a
much.
heavy, heavy police presence, I'm sure, is that right?
I bet you there will be, and, we'll ask Chief about that later in his report, see what his plans are for the
Okay,
summer, but
thanks a
thank
lot.
you so much, Earl,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Anyone else for audience participation? All right, moving along, we've got our council meeting minutes of May 27th, 2025. I'm looking for approval unless there are changes that need to be noted.
Move to approve.
Thank you so much. Do I have support?
Second.
Thank you both. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Terry, you had an opportunity to review accounts payable, and I'm very excited to hear what you found this evening,
So, to answer the question, where did all that money go?
right?
I had only had one question for John this week. If you remember last year, I think in the Putnam Street thing, we put in a new kind of sidewalk, a new kind of striping for the sidewalk. And everybody loved it, but we had to contract it out. And then, a couple of months ago, there was something with Beaman Road, we had to have the county do the striping on Beaman Road, and it was like $1,500 a mile, per mile of striping. It was very expensive. So, one of the things we did this last period here, we bought a line striping machine. We can't do Beaman Road, we can't do Grand River, we can't do Putnam, but everything else we can do. So that's an in-house tool, an in-house skill that is now part of our toolbox of tools. Okay? So that's the only thing significant I thought in this one. So I will make a motion to approve checks 78378 through 78392 and ACH 1571 to 1584 for a grand total of $45,923.79.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
Any questions? And we've got a second. I think we're gonna change this on the agenda from accounts payable to where did the money go?
That's pretty good.
I like that, that's your own little segment,
It did
so.
not go to Itchy Poo Park.
But I appreciate it, Terry, thank you so much for just being, so
Does that
mindful.
make me uncool that I
No.
don't know what Itchy Poo Park is?
No, but by next meeting
Does it
you
make me
will.
old?
No, I hope you
No,
will.
it
Make
makes
sure
you
you
older if you
go.
know.
Make sure you
I
go.
should go.
Alright, alright, I'm gonna bring us all back to center here. We have a motion, we have a second. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Van Allsburg,
Yeah.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Alright, thank you so much again. Moving into our action items, we have 3. We have first the 2025-26 fiscal year budget resolution. We have a memo in our packet from City Manager John Hannafin. I am going to turn it over to him. It is going to be a small motion because it's very precise, but John, go ahead.
Thank you. As you all know, the budget process is about a 5.5 month journey. We start in late January and get to this point. So we've had great participation in our work sessions, in our visioning session, which all leads us to this. So hopefully this should be a relatively easy thing for council to consider and move forward. So, but the requested action is to adopt the resolution for the 2025-2026 budget, appropriating the amounts necessary for municipal purposes and providing the levy the amount necessary to be raised by ad valorem taxes upon real and personal property, and that is our millage rate. We do have a second resolution for utilities and rates and fees, but those are not changing in the coming year, so there's not as much info in the packet. Happy to answer any questions you may have, but yeah, just really thankful for council's input and guidance throughout the process.
Absolutely, and I think we've had great work sessions. I love that we incorporate them into our council meeting evenings. That way it doesn't take time away from family and, adding an extra meeting onto the calendar. I think it's all been very well presented, very precise. We've had opportunity to ask questions during those work sessions. So, if someone would like to make that requested motion.
So
yes,
we're a
Terry.
government and we aren't raising the taxes and we aren't raising the rates? Is that right?
Yes.
That is
Yes,
correct.
That is
Okay,
correct.
I wanted to point that out.
Well, you should be, no, I'm not. Somebody else, I'm not gonna assign the motion.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for the city of Williamston, appropriating the amounts necessary for municipal purposes and providing for the levy of the amount necessary to be raised by ad valorem taxes upon real and personal property for municipal purposes.
Thank you so much. Do I have support? Thank you both. Any additional questions or comments? All right, Holly, will you call the roll?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Van Osberg,
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, just scrolling through my packet so I can get to that next
It's way down
memo. There we go, there we
Page
go, there we
48.
go. All righty, so our next action item is the 2025-26 budget utility rate resolution. We do have a memo in our packet from our city manager, John Hannafin. There is the requested action, there is some background. I will turn it over to him so he can give a little bit better explanation.
Yeah, thank you. As I said earlier, this is the second motion for budget. It's all our utility rates and fees, and if we were advocating for any change, proposing any change, it would be in this resolution as well as the supporting documentation. But we are not requesting any of that. So we did update the tables, just so for consistency's sake. So in the future, if we were to change the rate, you'd see the current rate and then the proposed rate. So again, happy to answer any questions you may have, but as I said many times, we are keeping rates and fees, and that's across the board, not just the utility rates, but charges for zoning permits and things like that are all the same.
All right, great. It's very detailed if you look in your packet, so I'm looking for that requested motion.
Make a motion to approve a resolution approving the water and wastewater rates for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Thank you so much. Thank you. If there's no other comments or questions, Holly, will you call the roll?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Van Osberg,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
All right. Coming on to our last action item for this agenda, it is the TED funds resolution. There are two. There's the Industrial Park Drive and Progress Court resolution to request Transportation Economic Development Fund Category B assistance. And the second is going to be Lynn Road resolution to request Transportation Economic Development Fund Category B assistance. We do have a memo in the packet from City Manager John Hannafin. I'm going to turn it over to him. He does explain about the program, eligible applicants, eligible project type. There you go.
You're rolling, keep going.
Well, no.
So this is a grant program. I'm not sure if the city's tried to acquire funds in this program in the past. I can tell you it is an extremely competitive program. I've tried in other communities, been unsuccessful, but you can't fault us for trying. So basically what we're asking for is the adoption of resolutions for the Industrial Drive Progress Court, which would be primarily funded by TIFA. And then we would be seeking additional funds, part of the TED-FB program to do that. And then the second project would be Lynn Road, and that would be the east side, and that would be east of Williamston Road, heading towards the eastern edge of the city limit. You can apply as many times as you like. It's doubtful that both programs would get funded. I guess maybe it's happened before, but it's probably doubtful. Phil's shaking his head no, so. But anyway, it doesn't lock us into doing these projects, and these would be projects that would be undertaken after July 1 of 2026 if we were successful. If we are not, then we wouldn't move those projects forward.
And can you just give us a quick 3 or 4 sentences of what that project looks like? I'm seeing that this would provide us with up to 50%, up to $250,000, but what exactly would those projects be?
It's resurfacing.
Resurfacing?
Yeah, that's really the only thing that would happen there. The resurfacing and then restoration, and then there's not a lot of line striping or painting out there, and we could do that ourselves. So.
Okay.
And there's pretty detailed project summaries that were part of the request.
All right.
Is it worth the effort to put all this stuff together, to put together the request? Is it worth the effort to do that? Do you think?
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
Yes, or we wouldn't have brought it.
Yep, I think it's, I think anytime we can look for money that doesn't come out of our taxpayer dollars,
Yeah.
like within our general fund or our major minor roads, anything like that, you know, if we hadn't have been really diligent, we wouldn't have done the crowdfunding for, the boardwalk or the, funds when Congresswoman Slotkin was looking for communities that had major, infrastructure. So I think any time that we can, you know, uncover something like this, that would give us an opportunity to bring funds to the community, yes, put in the work,
Okay.
absolutely. With that being said, if there's no questions for John, I'm looking for, you want separate resolutions,
Correct.
Tim? Okay, so I'm gonna need, the first resolution for the industrial park in Progress Court, please.
Make a motion to approve the TEDF-B resolution for Industrial Drive / Progress Court.
Thank you so much.
Second.
Thank you both. Holly, we call the roll, please.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Van Allsburg,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right, I'm looking for the, second motion for Lynn Road.
Make a motion to approve the TEDF-B resolution for Lynn Road East.
Thank you so much. Do I have support?
Second.
Thank you both. Holly, we call the roll, please.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Van Allsburg,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right, that concludes our action items for this evening. Moving along down the agenda, we've got our discussion items, which consists of our three usual suspects: construction project updates, master plan update, and main force safety improvements. So I will just turn this right over to our city manager.
Thank you. At a recent meeting, we approved Right Way Asphalt to do patching on like 4 or 5 different locations in town. And I'm happy to report as of this evening, all those projects are done. So that's good. Got a little nervous about the Mechanic Street patch right there in front of Jubilee, but that was finished up late last week. So that's good. As far as, that's all I have for construction. I mean, with the adoption of the new budget, we'll set to work on, if you recall, like for major projects, High Street is one of the projects we talked about doing, as well as doing a double chip seal on Mullet Street. So now that the budget's been approved, we'll start the prep work for that and the bidding, design and bidding. Those are 20, 25, 26 projects, so that work wouldn't take place until after July 1st. So that's about all I have.
I have a question. Did we have something of significance on Jackson Street today? Over by the Commons,
It's actually on South Street.
South Street?
Yeah, there was
Okay.
that was the largest patch that we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what was-
take a drive down there. It's with the rain, it'll help it cool a little bit, but it's that was a really bad spot. I mean, it was starting to, basically the chunks of asphalt were starting to float in the street, so
Alright.
that one was long overdue. So it was good to get that taken care of. And
Yeah.
as we move forward in time here, I mean, we're always gonna have, and like earlier we adopted resolutions for long stretches of road that need improvements, but there's a mindset, you can't, if you lose a shingle, you can't wait to build a new house to repair it. And so we've got loose shingles all over town, and when we can, we'll do pretty significant levels of patching. So
Okay.
we'll have another batch of these for council to consider sometime after July 1st, once the new budget rolls over.
All right, great. Thank
Are
you.
we gonna do any crack fill this year?
We will likely do that as well, yeah.
All right, excellent. Master plan update.
We had a really good planning work session the last time. We didn't have any site plan work, so we were able to focus exclusively on the master plan. And we're at a point where the planning commission should be reviewing and hopefully approving the first draft of the plan at the August meeting. We are not meeting in July. That's the week of July 4th, and also we just had multiple conflicts with planning commissioners, so there will not be a July meeting. But we had an excellent meeting. Part of the result of that meeting was starting to line up some of the text amendments that we've been talking about, going back to visioning sessions past with DDA council and planning commission, things like Williamston Road corridor overlay, changing some of the things there, some of the landscape standards, things like that. And so we'll be asking council to initiate that process at our next meeting. And that will start, and then we would have the public hearing for those at the planning commission in August, and then assuming they're approved, then those would be adopted, and we get some of those things that maybe troubled some folks during some of the site plans that we went through in the last couple of years. So it's really an outstanding meeting. I was really happy with the progress.
Excellent, great, thank you. Main force safety improvements.
I don't have anything to add, I don't feel.
Hey, Phil.
I have a drawing that I'm in the final stages of reviewing. We've got the transitions at both ends at all the ends worked out. And the transitions to the different lane widths are all in there. So as soon as I can get through it, which should be in the next couple of days, I'll sit down with Mr. Hanifan and go over it and see how he wants to proceed.
Where's the transition points on the east and west?
The street, the other side of the police station here. Cedar Street.
Yep.
The street, the other side of, it used to be Feldwash, sorry.
No, that's okay, you can still call it that.
There, and then High Street and this First
Middle.
Street South Mill
Okay.
on the four corners. It's basically one block in each direction, there's a transition.
So not this crazy all the way through town kinda.
No, it is literally just the
Couple of blocks.
couple of blocks.
Excellent.
Excellent.
That's good.
All right, good. We'll look forward to seeing those drawings. Appreciate it, Phil. Thanks for being here this evening. Moving down our agenda, we did not receive any correspondence, so we'll go right into department head reports, and we'll throw this back over to the city manager.
Thank you. We have a full slate of meetings next week. TIF on Monday, EDA on Tuesday, and then Parks on Thursday. So a lot of good stuff happening in those groups. I want to thank council for adopting the budget resolution, and I know that all of you take your job seriously, and it's good to work on that project collectively. So thank you for that. So I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Chief, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Great. So one of your busiest weeks is almost upon the police department.
We're here,
All right.
almost here.
All right.
So you received my report for May with the statistics. The department highlights, we had our first range date, which included a classroom portion, policy review, and national night out planning's full steam ahead, and Jubilee planning. We had a meeting this morning and some other meetings, and we're ready, and that's about it.
So tell us a little bit, how big is our reserve group that will be helping out? Because I know being a reserve and you know, they really kind of help with the crowd control and everything at the beer tent, beverage tent, whatever you want to call it. How many do we have now in reserves?
We'll have 11
Okay.
when the Jubilee starts. So I think all but one are working different shifts throughout the week. Really, Jubilee ramps up on Wednesday with the kids parade, well, Night of Destruction the weekend before. But yeah, really Wednesday through Saturday are the big 4 days.
All right.
And 11 reserves, and we're scheduled heavy with licensed officers each day. So we're ready.
All right, great, excellent. Well, I'm gonna, fingers crossed, it goes smoothly, good weather, good people throughout our community. Yes, Terry?
Do we have a beer tent the day of the
No.
draw?
When I get to my
You're gonna-
comments.
Yeah, I'll have him give us the update on Jubilee.
Okay. I've talked to several people about this and they're all curious to know. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Chief, appreciate it. Oh, how's Madrano doing? Is he settling in?
He very much is.
Okay.
He's doing well with his training. Being a reserve for 2 years, accelerated his training, so he's doing great.
All right, excellent, thanks, Chief, appreciate it. We do have our budget in here. If you have any questions regarding that, we can always have you reach out to our treasurer, Tom, or through our city manager. We do have a report in here from Livingston County Department of Building and Safety Engineering for new permits that are being issued to residential and commercial. So if you do have any questions about that, please connect with our city manager and he will get those answered for you. So I will go around the table. Did anybody have any meetings they want to report out on?
We had planning commission and
Yes.
John was very thorough with his, everything he spoke of. We had a great meeting. And also want to give a shout out to McKenna. It's nice to have them there. They're always very thorough, very professional. And so I always want to give a good shout out to them.
Great, excellent. Other meetings? Yes, Terry?
I already reported on Parks and Rec, but Earl wanted me to ask if there are any plans for the turbine. Does anybody know any plans for the turbine?
Oh, for when it's gonna be placed over in Mill Park, do we know? Yes, John?
Yeah, there's far more progress that's been made in the last 2 months on that than in the previous 15 years.
Okay. That's a
When
good
Earl has been kicking that around, so
Yeah.
we're not kicking it around or not doing anything with it, so.
It's from the old mill, and so I'd love to see a picture of it if we've got a picture, maybe at our next council meeting, but when do we anticipate that being up and in place?
If things go well and we've got past some of the major hurdles that some folks wanted to stand up a 130-year-old piece of metal that's breaking,
Right,
and they got over that, and so we're laying it down, which
Gotcha.
actually will be better. Sorry,
Yep.
well, it's not, that's what happens when your turbine's not tight.
It's-
So it'll be Old Mill Park, it'll be, kind of near the Butterfly Garden, it'll
Yep.
be on the east side of the pathway. I mean, it's been quite the journey even since I've been here. I can't imagine what the previous 13 years were like.
here's what I
trying to
can tell
figure it
you.
out.
Full of drama.
This
Drama.
is
Yeah.
literally, I think, the only year that we've ever talked about it in council. We've never really heard about it, so
I've never heard about
it's
it.
nice that this turbine is finally going to be, in place and revealed.
Well, in part, it's an analysis of how, and I fully support what we're going to do, but it's an analysis of there has to be more than just a group or an outside group wants something and why isn't it done and why hasn't the city done it? There has to be some thought to it, there has to be a design, sometimes there has to be a bid,
Yeah.
and there also has to be a budget approved for it. And this is the first year, much like the pavilion we replaced in
Yes.
McCormick Park. I mean, we budgeted for that for 6 years, but we failed to launch, so.
Right.
Can't speculate why that was, but rest assured, hopefully we're all enjoying the turbine for many years by
Absolutely.
River
Well,
Days in September.
and it has a historical connection to this, so I'm
It's
sure
awesome.
that when they do put the little kiosk out there that has a story that tells about it, it's really gonna make sense to everybody, and so I'm looking forward to it.
That part's already done.
We have the Eagle Scout project thing to build the bulwark thing, the concrete thing to put it in,
That's a little bit beyond the Eagle Scouts.
beyond the Eagle Scouts?
I know that's hard to believe, but yeah.
Wow.
That's all right, that's okay.
That'd been a great feature by the museum.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of people who want things, what became of the group that wanted the pickleball court?
We're discussing that next week at the Parks meeting.
Okay, so that's still a thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
And now,
Yes, the long awaited, please lay out what Jubilee Week looks like for us, Dan.
tell us.
So, Jubilee, the two big changes are, for many years, Mayor Gilroy can remember, way back, we had not just a small kiddie carnival, but a
Big
full-on midway
Yeah.
for years, and then that dwindled and
Yeah.
finally went away. Well, this year, for the first time in many years, we have a full-on midway carnival. What I've been told is they're bringing in nearly the same amount of rides as would be at the Fowlerville or Ingham County Fair, is what we'll have open Wednesday through Sunday. But in order for that to happen, the Derby had to move to this coming Saturday. So the Derby is starting out Jubilee instead of ending Jubilee. So the Derby can get set up, we can crush a bunch of cars and have a bunch of races and have a lot of fun, and then that will get taken down so that the carnival can come in and get set up. Unfortunately, to have the beer tent up and ready to go for the Derby, we would nearly need to rent that tent for another week for that, because we get the tent this coming Friday, the Derby is Saturday, and we literally spend from midday Friday till 10:30 on Wednesday getting it all ready, licensed for food and everything else. So to be able to have the liquor license and everything and the food going for that, it would have cost us quite a bit of additional money to rent it, and the volunteer tent, because we all take off work, everything else to get everything ready. So we weren't able to pull that off for the Derby night, so I know there's been a lot of questions about why that. So that's what the sequencing is with that. We also would love to see a lot of people sign up for this. We have what Kevin and Jamie Bizzard are running a new event called the Red Cedar Jubilee 0.5K-ish. It's kind of a mock fun run. It's going from the beer tent
That's a
to.
sprint.
It is a sprint. It is a sprint. It's going from the beer tent to the Four Corners right before the parade kicks off on Jubilee Saturday. And all the funds for that go to, it's raising money for There's Always Room Foster Closet, which benefits foster children in Ingham County. Their office is right over here in McCormick Park. So you sign up for that, you get a really cool t-shirt, you get some food and beverage tent coins, and then the rest of the, and you get I think I said t-shirt. And then the rest of the money goes to the foster clubs.
Is everybody running at the same time, or is
Every-
there age group?
Everybody's running at the same time.
Okay.
Like, I think there's possibly gonna be some people in inflatable costumes doing the run. So, a lot of different things. I think right now there's an opportunity to sign your kid up for free through, Love to Play and the Williamston Barbell Club gym. The first 10 kids that sign up through them over there get a free registration.
Nice.
But that's a new event this year. There's music in the tent every night, which in the past, there's only been a couple nights. I think there's actually 2 bands on Saturday. The fireworks are back. No events have gone away. We've just added some additional events, and the Derby moved to the Saturday earlier.
There's nothing wrong with changing the way you do something, because if you keep doing it the same way over and over and over again, it's repetitive and it loses a little bit of excitement. I think that changing the Derby night has really created excitement in town. So, but
Is that within the social district? Can we bring a beer to the
It
Derby?
is not
It is not.
within the.
Not allowed. Can we bring a beer to
Well,
That was
the
John,
Derby?
is it?
Negative.
Negative, negative, police chief says
It has
negative.
to be in a coffee travel mug.
It is.
I don't think anybody heard you say that, Tim.
There's gonna be signs at the front of the
Yeah.
Derby that says no.
But here's
No
what our
adult
wonderful
beverages.
community can do. They can stop in, they can patronize all of our wonderful restaurants prior to the Derby. And if those restaurants are still open as the Derby concludes, you can go and visit those watering holes again.
I know that there is one watering hole in town that is planned, music for after the Derby and some other things. I don't know if other ones are.
Oh, which place is that?
That is the Pub and Grill, formerly
The bucket.
the Bucket. This used to be the Bucket's busiest night of the year,
Sure.
and hopefully it will be.
Oh, you know what? It's because it's Lee's 10-year celebration of owning Williamston Pub and Grill. So shout out to Lee for owning it for 10 years, so little party for
What
her too.
becomes of the cars after the Derby?
Like,
They don't run anymore, right?
So the cars that are still able to be ran, the guys will run them again at a different show, or
Okay.
when Bill's Wrecker and Radiator was still out of town, when Gordy Merriman was still running that, we would build a raffle car. And, city manager Hannafin could come down and for $5, he could buy a raffle ticket and he could win that car. And for 5 years, we ran the same car because nobody did away with it. And then we got the right driver who won it, and then it was unusable after that. So it really depends. And then if it's unusable, it goes to the scrapyard, they melt it down, and then they turn it into.
Well, so there's a place out west called Cadillac Ranch, and they mounted Cadillacs like this with a row of them, they're in the ground. And it's very famous, and you can paint them.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
We could have our own. With demolition derby cars sticking up out of the ground. I'm telling you, it would put us on the map.
Scott, you put some more thought into it for next year.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
do that.
Another opportunity for audience participation. I'm not seeing anyone out there in the gallery, so council member comments. I'll start with Terry.
Nothing.
Dan? All right, Scott?
I'm very enthused about the effort that went into the music, and, yeah, very appreciative of that.
Yep, absolutely.
I will bring a report next time about the Ithu Park
Itchy Coo.
Itchy Coo Park.
Itchy Coo.
I will bring a report on that, so that we'll all
You
know.
too, like,
And Tim?
Yeah, I love that, and, the oxymorons, I think that's classic.
Right,
That's really good.
yeah. You know, school ended, so Chief, you guys don't have to do, before school, after school, you know, crowd traffic control, so have a good couple months off from that. But you know, there's gonna be a lot of activities and events going on throughout the entire summer. It's not just Jubilee that makes Williamston special, it's things like this, concerts in the park, events by our Williamston event group. We're working on Dog Days of Summer for August. We've got, I believe, kayak, canoeing, that'll be the third year.
Yep.
In September, you know, we're working on October's Witches and Warlocks and whatever we call that. We've got some really neat ideas for Christmas this year, so there's always something going on. The theater, both of them, the Sun and the Williamston Theater, will be busy this summer as well. We've got the new Lowen Art Gallery, we've got the ice cream shop, we've got the Good Place Bagel. I mean, things are happening in Williamston, so I could not be more proud of that. And I just encourage everybody to get out and explore our community, have your family and friends come and explore our community, and you know, it's gonna be a good summer.
Yes.
So with that, I will go ahead and adjourn at 6:36. Just in time for us all to go outside.